Our institutions have become corrupt. Unconstitutional agencies are infringing on your rights. Your liberty was secured by strong men and women of yesterday. We live in the age of disinformation and corporate propaganda. You're an American, born with unalienable rights. Yet those rights are being trampled every day by unelected busybodies. Welcome to the Dangerous Info Podcast with Jesse Jaymz and Outcast. Dangerous. Stay blessed in the battle.
Well, good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's Thursday morning. Good to have you here. Welcome to the spiritual and the cultural battle of our lives, where truth is dangerous, information is a weapon. Can you guys hear me all right? Hear me through these things? Is this thing working? Yes, it is. Oh, man, top of the morning to you guys. You know, today we have episode 242, our second edition of Rise and Shine, the morning show. And I welcome you guys in here. It's a little bit different. You know what's crazy is, before we get going, listen. Lord bless this transmission and guide our intentions in this episode. Amen. That's what I'm saying. You know, I'd like to welcome everybody in here. There's not a whole lot right now, but, you know, it's Thursday morning. That's why. But eventually we'll get people going in here. And I just like it. You know what I'm saying? So welcome in, everybody. I see you guys out there. Rise and shine. This is Thursday morning. You know, yesterday was a big time snowplow day. And 17 hours. Yeah, I did 17 hours in the truck yesterday. It's crazy. I know. I was this close to not having a show this morning. You know, there's a lot of stuff I got to get done today. I got to go back to some other jobs and do a little bit of what we call touch-ups. And these touch-ups are where, you know, we have to go back after the storm has come through and after people have driven on stuff. It's usually just our commercial lots. So I'll be hitting the commercial lots here in just a little bit this morning, just double checking, making sure everything is still nice and tidy after we left. But it's good to see you guys in here. Music Lover says, I'm at work, so I'll be in it. Yeah. Well, you know what? This episode is not going to be that long. Not as long as it was last week. I think we did, let me look over here. Last week we did a couple hours. It was 1 hour, 53 minutes. So no way we're going to go this long on this one. All right. Because like I said, I've got a lot of stuff to do today. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys and make sure, you know, we trying to continue this rise and shine. And today I kind of wanted to talk about, I did want to talk about 100% memories. Do you think memories out there can they be a form of time travel? And I guess I'll explain what I mean here. I was talking to it must have been family or friends just the other day. It could have been Outcast. Maybe we touched on it on this the other morning or the other night on the show. But I think I have a good memory of my childhood, right? And of a lot of events throughout life. I know a lot of people, they don't have memories that go back very long. They remember what happened yesterday and a couple of days here and there. I think it's a mix of a lot of different people doing a lot of different things with their memories. But it almost seems like we had, I don't know, I have these memories of me being a little kid. Now, did I say any of this on the show? You guys in the chat, let me know. Did I already mention some of this on the show? Because I talked about this so many times over the last couple of weeks with some people, with some friends and family. You music lover, you said you are reminiscing about the past when you think through the events of a particular day. Well, this is kind of on the same path, but this is more of like, maybe we need to get a professional about memories on here. That might be pretty good. So, for example, memories, can they be a form of time travel? Personally, probably yes, because if you think about, if you have a memory of, I don't know, some sort of event, whether it was a happy event or a sad one, if you think about it, say for example, you have some downtime on a certain day, and you're thinking about some things, and whether it was like, we'll just take fun ones. All right, we'll take fun ones. I remember some very awesome times way back in the day when I was a little kid at my grandparents' house, running around on their 12-acre farm, just having a great time. I remember these certain trees and these certain areas where the garden was, right, and how the driveway went up, and driving through driving in the driveway as we pulled up and seeing the familiar trees and all these things. But if you sit there long enough and think about some of these things, say you're just relaxing, you're just chilling, right? You're just looking outside, you're just sitting by the campfire, whatever it is. And I guess you're by yourself because you're not interacting with anybody else. But those memories, when they come up, they transport you to a completely different time in space than what you're currently sitting in. So I guess that's what I'm saying is, that it seems to me like a form of time travel. Hicktown says, I mean, in the spiritual supernatural world, time doesn't exist, right? God is outside of time, right? So technically everything is time travel. Now, yeah, and that's a good one. I'll put that up on the screen there. That's kind of exactly what I'm talking about, is like, for example, when I'm out in the plow truck, right? You get certain times when whether it's driving or repetition in a certain lot, and I'm doing the same thing back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. You get to a certain amount of relaxation mode, kind of like what you do when you're in a bonfire or a campfire setting, sitting next to some burning logs, right? And sometimes I'm in a long drive. Yesterday I had a long drive from one town to the next town, and I was on the road for quite a while. Just the hum of the vehicle, there wasn't a lot of traffic that early in the morning. I got started at 3 a.m. yesterday, and I did 17 hours. So there was a lot of time in there where I'm not seeing other vehicles, but I'm going down the road. Every now and then you might see another plow truck, might see another, emergency vehicle, a police car, whatever it is. But until we get closer to the dawn, you're by yourself a lot, and you don't see anybody really. So that's what I'm saying. These time travel moments, I guess, when you come up with these certain memories, boy, they keep flooding back right now. But if you think about, it's wintertime, right? It's snowing outside. It's dark. The snow is slowly coming down. But you start thinking of a trip or a vacation you had on a beach, right? And the people that you were with on that beach, and the good times that you had, in the lunches, and the certain things that you did during the day, those events, they start all rushing back if you allow yourself that time to think about these things, right? So instantly you are transported back mentally to that exact time. Now, if you have good enough memory to remember what the buildings look like, what the house looked like, what the yard, the landscape, everything that was around you, I mean, I would consider that, seriously, you guys, a time travel thing, and not just a memory. I think it's more than that, because sometimes if you start thinking about some of these things deep enough or long enough, you start getting a feeling, right? I know when I'm at the top of a building, something really high. Now, I don't like heights, but if I think about that and looking down over, I can kind of panic myself. I think everybody can do that, right? We all have that power to sort of panic yourself, even though you're sitting comfy in a chair and you're on the ground. If you start thinking about a certain thing that kind of stirs something in you, well, it can create a physical sensation. Well, I think memories are the same way. And, I guess that's why when I was sitting in the truck the other day, just thinking about, being a kid and doing all that stuff, you can almost bring yourself to an emotional state of like, wow, I so remember that day, but I also miss grandma and grandpa. You know what I mean? Or I missed that vacation was so fun, and I haven't seen these people in such a long time. And you know, it becomes like an emotional thing that you were around those people, but it's so long ago, but yet you can travel mentally right back to those days. I guess it's kind of a weird, I don't know, a weird thought. Time travel and memories. I just think that, you know, maybe I'm not thinking deep enough, or I'm overthinking it. What do you guys think? You know, Music Lover saying, if I lose myself in a memory, I can relive all the emotions that I felt at that time, not just not as acutely. Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. Like reading a book and feeling what the characters go through. That's another one. Memories versus reading a book, and you're really into a book and the characters, same thing, but memories are drawing from a different place. The memories are bringing back what you saw, those visuals that you saw and went through physically, right? Whereas when you're reading a book, you're doing the same thing. You might be traveling back to a different time, or forward in time, different locations. But as you're reading those words, your mind is formulating the visuals for you, which is why reading is so great, right? But memories, you're similar, doing the similar thing, but you're just bringing back, you're doing a recall on those memories that you lived through. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but I think they're kind of both doing the same thing. Reading a book and memories, they're invoking something in making your brain do stuff. And these are the kinds of things that your brain will not do when you're watching TV. Because TV is actually giving you the visuals right there, right in live, at the live moment. And I think it's harder for you to go off in those memory holes, memory trails when you're intaking something from a TV, right? Yeah, I'm just kind of going through all the stuff in my head right now. Because that brought something up. She says, Music Lover says, there are studies that suggest our brains light up the same way, but less when we read a book as when we personally go through events. Yeah, I believe that. Totally. Yeah, that makes total sense, because your mind is going through the same type of things. Oh, by the way, I'm drinking my bulletproof coffee again today. That's right. My coffee. The MCT oil, which is the basically just coconut oil, and the grass-fed butter, and that's it. Bulletproof, makes the lips all shiny. So yeah, what do you guys think? I also want to put out our email, because if somebody has thoughts on this. And I know most people are going to see this later. Most people are just working right now, and that's all right. But this will be queued up for you later. Something to think about, especially as we're in this season right now. We're in this cozy season of Christmas. We have a ton of snow here. I mean, we just got hit with that. Boy, I saw 5 to about 7 inches of snow, depending on where I was at working yesterday. So, and it's cold, you guys. It's cold. It's not going anywhere for a while. It's supposed to be 7 degrees as a high on Saturday. So that's going to be wild, right? But that's what I'm saying is, like, depending on where you're at, I think, where we're at here in the Midwest and Michigan, in the surrounding areas, yeah, we got a lot of time now. We're going to be running through some of these memories, because a lot of us are going to be cooped up inside. I don't know if you're the kind that stays up late while everybody else goes to sleep. But there's a lot of time there where that can happen too, where your mind can take off, right? These memories can flood right back in. Hey, Music Lover says, yeah, just as likely to cry over fictional characters in a book as on screen. Yep, I can see that. I think the harbor is going to freeze over this year. Yeah, that's if this cold continues the way it is right now. A lot of stuff. Well, the lake that we fish on in the spring here, or in the winter, it's frozen right now. We do ice fishing, so it's not frozen enough yet to get to get us in, the equipment out there, but it's frozen enough to probably walk on. I saw it over the weekend, and it's cold. It's cold, you guys, but I wouldn't trust it just yet. But it's time to polish up the ice fishing stuff, and we'll be getting that ready. I want to do some ice, some cold. You're talking about Lake Michigan. Yeah. No, Lake Michigan's going to take a lot to freeze. I don't know if that thing's ever frozen over. A lot of areas on the shorelines, in bays and all that stuff, is going to freeze up. Yeah. But has any of the lakes ever frozen over fully? I don't know. Maybe in some areas, I know where they have to bring in the icebreakers, the barges to bust stuff up in certain spots. But, as far as in the middle of those lakes, I don't think they ever freeze over. I've been to the edges, where they're frozen out for quite a while. But, yep. Those things, could you imagine what they went through just last month, in November, the Edmund Fitzgerald. Have you guys ever watched that and seen any of that? Oh, that's horrible. There's a lot of that stuff that goes around on TV locally here, because there's still people that in the area that knew or were related to some of the crew that were on the Edmund Fitzgerald, and they tell their stories. Yeah, Hicktown, she says, I think they're too deep to freeze over. Yeah, for sure. And too violent. Man, those things the Great Lakes are great. They're awesome. What's funny is they never move with the tide, do they? Huh. Wonder why. It's another rabbit hole to get into. But yeah, that the whole thing is still brewing with me still for, the memories and time travel. And now you say books and time travel. That takes the mind somewhere else. I mean, I don't seem to get that with movies, though. If I'm watching a movie, that doesn't seem to happen. That same reaction does not happen, right? Because, again, I think it's because that stuff is giving us the visuals, and our brain doesn't have to recreate that. So have any of you guys gotten those from a movie? Picked up I don't think it's possible to do that, because then you would not be paying attention to the movie. Your mind would be going somewhere else. Talking about these frozen lakes. Yeah. You could see Erie, Ontario, Huron freezing more. Yeah. Parts of those do freeze up. There's a lot of fishing that goes on, ice fishing on Detroit River, on the edges, Lake St. Clair. But still, when you get out to the middle like that, there's a lot of open water. So I don't know if those big lakes will ever freeze over. Erie, a lot of it will freeze over, but as far as 100% coverage, I don't think they can, unless we get a sustained, single digit temps and all that stuff for a while, which we're going to have here. So you say, as with, for movies with books, I tend to feel what the characters feel. Visuals really don't affect it. Yeah, it seems like our brain does something a little different, though, when we're watching these visuals come across and being delivered to us. Our brain is not reacting the same way to that as a book. Even radio does that. You listen to radio, you listen to podcasts. If you're just going to listen to them, the audio, your brain gets to working that same way too, right? So it will definitely get to working different. So, if anybody has an idea, or this happens to anybody, I'd like to hear from you guys about that. And maybe we'll read something on the show. So, send us an email if you want, dangerousinfopodcast@protonmail.com, about these memories being time travel. Yeah. Men and women, they see stuff differently. Yeah, the thing's a little bit different, but I think there's a lot that that we share though too. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying memories is probably that whole thing that ties it all together. Because I think memories run deeper than mostly anything else. Books might get close. I think writing is probably another one too. If you're one that likes to sit down and write, I think there's a lot of that that invokes memory, right? But does that do that time travel thing for you? Because when you're busy thinking memories, of certain thing, and that time travel in your mind, that mental time travel, does it allow you for that? Jim Miller says, can you please openly pray out loud for the Northwest, U.S. and Canada as an atmospheric river is back like 2021? There are numerous highways and interstate highways closed. Debris, mud trails, slides, flooding. He's got Romans 8:25 through 39. Please pray for everyone to overcome with Jesus. This is bad, bad, bad up here. I did hear something about that, Jim. I want everybody to get into their Bibles if you can, or your app or whatever, and check out Romans 8:25 through 39. Music Lover says, have you ever heard the Billie Eilish lyric, when we all fall asleep, where do we go? No, I haven't listened to her, but I do like that sentence right there. When we all fall asleep, where do we go? And I think probably we've all thought about that stuff. Like I remember saying here on the show, one of these shows, saying, about sleeping, about going to sleep. It's like, I can't wait to go to sleep tonight to see what kind of adventure it takes me on. Kind of the same way. If you guys know any more about what Jim is talking about here on Facebook, he says, about openly pray out loud for the Northwest, U.S. and Canada. The atmospheric river is back. And I saw something, I just saw something, I think yesterday when I was plowing, but I didn't have time to look. Some headline just came over from what I remember. If one of you guys can look that up, please do, and put a little bit more information. Jim, maybe you can do that too. The Romans 8, here, let me type this in and see if I can. Romans 8:25 through 39. Let's look that up together. Let me put my lenses on here, and we'll look that up together. How about that? Romans 8:25 through 39. But we hope not. But if we hope not, let me click on this thing. All right, here we go. You know what? I can put this up on the screen, I think, for you guys. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, right there. All right, so, and I know these ad blockers are going to drive, or the ads are going to drive everybody crazy, but this is the NIV version of Romans 8:25 through 39. But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. In the same way, the spirits help us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And he who searches for our hearts knows in the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. For those God foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that he might be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. And those he predestined, he also called. Those he called, he also justified. Those he justified, he also glorified. More than conquerors. Here we go. More than conquerors. Wait, then, shall we say in response to these things, if God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own Son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give us all the things? Who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen? It is God who justifies. Who then is the one who condemns? No one. Christ Jesus, who died, more than that, who was raised to life, is at the right hand of the God and also interceding for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword. As it is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. A couple more left here. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither nor life or death, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be all able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Wow, that is a lot there. Yeah, these are great verses. These are great verses, Jim. I want to know what's going on over there in U.S., Canada, that Northwest stuff up there. The atmospheric river is back like 2021. Is that when, was that the year then? Well, I know Alaska has a lot of earthquakes and all that stuff. And I remember the roads being, the earthquakes and the caves and all that. But is that the same year that a lot of that stuff was going on in Alaska? Does that have anything to do with this atmospheric river, like in 2021? I'm not sure. But anyway, you guys check that out. That was Romans 8:28 through 39. That is very good reading. I really like that. And I will read that again later when I'm not trying to read it live on air so that it sinks in better. You know what I mean? But we did read that aloud. Jim, if you have any more, you have something I can't see, I see a link, a Facebook link, but I can't click on it. That's the problem here. Are you in Discord? If you're in Discord, you can send it over there. I can also check the email, dangerousinfopodcast@protonmail.com if you want to do that. And I can read that link. Let me look here. Hold on a second, Jim. You know what? I can go right to our Facebook live feed. How's that? And see if there's something for me to click on, Jim. There we go. All right, check it. Here we go. Jim, thank you. So what you did is you sent me this. Whoops. I got to slide this thing over you guys. It's crazy. You see, there's so much going on. It says, meanwhile, on Delco, it's 30 minutes ago, the Snoqualmie River has hit its major flood stage and large stretches of... I'm trying to get this thing centered up here. I'll just read it. In large stretches of farmland around Falls City, Washington are now underwater. A powerful atmospheric river has been dumping nonstop rain across western Washington, pushing the river out of its banks and flooding fields, barns, roads, and parts of the surrounding communities. Livestock, equipment, and entire properties are now cut off by fast-moving water. Residents are calling it the worst flooding they've ever seen. Please, everyone, keep in your thoughts Falls City, Carnation, and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yeah, you can see that picture right there. Everybody is under that water and is rising. Jim says, talk about, the atmospheric river. Interstate 5 is closed to cars and they're trapped. The Nooksack River alarm. Wow. You know what? I'm wondering, does this have anything to do with geoengineering out there? Is this an anomaly? I mean, is this something where, the left is going to get out here and start, hollering at us about climate change again and all this nonsense? Or is this some sort of a natural phenomenon that happens? I mean, plus how are governments, especially out there, your local governments, how is FEMA going to respond to this? Are we looking at some sort of situation like we had in North Carolina? I don't know. But to me, it seems like they are, doing weather modification kind of stuff. They're always doing that. Those programs are always going on, Jim. And I'm wondering if this has anything to do with that. That stuff really, for people, I know everybody out here, they already understand how that stuff works and how they operate and do what they do with all this stuff. So, yeah. There's the link he put in the Facebook Live. If you click that, it'll take you right there where you need to go. Talking about the headline is Meanwhile in Delco. So yeah, Jim, thanks for that information. It looks like the Nooksack River and all these areas are having big time trouble. The Snoqualmie, I hope I said that right. Snoqualmie, it literally flooded so hardcore it blew the whole Jersey barriers off the interstate with debris flow. Yeah, you know what? When it comes to water, you're not going to stop water. Water's going to do what it wants to do. What you need to do is be able to steer it because it's coming no matter what. And the same thing around here. The water's going to do what it's going to do. It'll knock a house down. It'll do whatever. So the best thing to do is guide the water and give it their music lovers. Yeah, I mean I love y'all, but not enough to log into Facebook at work. Yeah, I know what you mean. But there is the the link he put in the chats here. It's just not clickable in the chats for me. But if you go to the live Facebook live stream, it's clickable there. Oh man, I'm praying for those people. If we do find out the government was up there messing with it, the geoengineering and all that stuff, which probably they have a hand in something up there. I imagine. It should eye-opening stuff is what I'm saying. I don't like it. Jim says every highway into and out of Lower Mainland has been closed. British Columbia is in as much trouble as Washington. So, man, I have some family up there in near Walla Walla, Washington. Yeah, I'll put that in Discord for you. How far are you? Anywhere near Walla Walla, Jim? There, I just put it into the Discord so you guys can check that out. How far away? I think she's just a couple miles, not too far from the border of Canada. Does that make sense? Washington, Canada, and I know that Oregon is right up in there too. I'm having a visual blank on that, but oh man, that's horrible up there. And I haven't seen any of that on mainstream news or anything or radio. I really don't listen to that stuff or watch that kind of stuff. But dang, pray for that stuff over there in Pacific Northwest. So I'm glad I read that out there for you guys. The Romans, what was that? 8? Romans 8, 28 through 39. Thanks, Jim, for bringing that up. And continue to pray. And I'm glad you must be up in that everywhere too. You said Walla Walla is about 350 miles south. All right. Well, we have family up there. Man, I'd like to get up there and do some Sasquatch chasing. I'm looking around, right? Whatever. I'm in Prince George, British Columbia, hauling fuel for Chevron. Wow, that's kind of cool. I wonder if, that term atmospheric river. Right there, it gives me a visual, right? Atmospheric river. I'm thinking of a river flowing up above and all that stuff. It's a great descriptor. I can see it in my head, but I'm not sure if I've ever heard of it. But hey, it makes sense, especially if they're up there pouring something up there into the sky and making these things happen. I know how they like to do that. That jet stream out on the West Coast is wild, you guys. It goes. I think it's being pushed further north than it should be, than it naturally would be. And by doing that, they can accomplish a lot of really, really good things for their benefits. By pushing that jet stream so far north into even Alaska, they can create warm temperatures that wouldn't normally be warm temperatures, and they can create their scenario for the climate change push. And I've seen it happen. And those what are those Alaska shows that living in Alaska, and you got the people out there that are living. Some of those shows, there's a bunch of them out there doing that stuff, but you can tell that the producers or somebody gets them to talk about climate change, and it's being so warm up there. And it's unnaturally warm, and you can see that the rivers and not enough snow and all that stuff. Well, they're proud. My guess is the producers are telling them, giving them some of these lines to talk about it's being so warm and all that, so they can use those kind of lines, not letting them know, obviously, that that they're causing it. You know what I mean? That they are actually causing the jet stream to be up so high. So when it goes up that high, they can get that weather to melt some of that snow in some of those southern rivers and do all these things and then report on it. So it's that Hegelian dialectic stuff. They cause the problem so that they can give you their solution and their answers and their description for it. What else we have? So when that happens and you get the big dip, well, you can also mess with the west coast of United States, and then riding that dip down, coming down. That's how you get the polar vortexes that reach way down the Midwest and make everything so cold for so long. I mean, they mess with that jet stream so often, and they've been doing it for so long. We're going to get to a point where it's going to be so out of whack. I don't know if it'll ever be able to get back, realign itself. If they would just stop messing with it, you guys. I've reached out to Dane Wigington so many times without response. But I'll keep doing it. I want to get him on. He's of geoengineeringwatch.org. But there's just so much, man, so much. And then you got a bunch of knuckleheads that don't believe in any of this stuff, right? That you try to tell them about in geoengineering, and they're not hearing it. Whatever. Music lover, you have put a link over here in the Rumble chat. Now, what's crazy is I can click on that link in Rumble. Wow. And it brings me to New York Post on that link. New York Post says, major river flooding unleashed as powerful atmospheric river slams Pacific Northwest. And that was yesterday, December 10th. Look at all these ads. Crazy ads everywhere. Falls City, a powerful atmospheric river has delivered bouts of serious rain, soaking Pacific Northwest, triggering major river flooding. A lot of drone footage near Falls City, stemming from pretty much everything I just wrote or read. Fueled by the atmospheric river of the Snoqualmie River crested high, the highest it's been in 10 years, with a flow rate of 45,000 cubic feet per second. Wow. Look at that drone footage right there, you guys. Yeah, it's going into the parking lots. It's making the river just overflow its banks, right? It's cresting over everything. And look at now. Okay, let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. That's horrible. Horrible. That's just a flood story link. Yeah, I know. See, I'm not even these ad blockers and all that stuff. I don't know. I have to look into that stuff. I don't spend so much time on a website where it bothers me all that much. But I mean, I'm still looking at the screen. And it's full of ad blockers that you guys can't see right now. But I've never even looked into an ad blocker. So maybe it's simple to do. Maybe I don't know. But all these ads keep popping up and going nutty. I don't like it. Wow, a lot of stuff's underwater, you guys. So, praying for the Pacific Northwest on that, and dang, not good. So they're 3 hours behind us over there. So it's about 11 o'clock here. So I don't know if this has been happening all day yesterday and going in overnight. Oh, could you imagine going to bed and then knowing that water is getting higher and higher? And eventually, I'm sure some of these people got that water right in their homes, man. Oh, horrible. Of course, it gets cold there. I don't know if the snow stays on the ground like it does here, but that Pacific Northwest, usually a lot of rain, right? You guys don't get as much snow like up in the mountains. I don't know if you're in the mountains there, but if you're talking valleys and all that stuff, you're not going to be seeing all the snow as they do. Yeah, it's about 8 a.m. there. Dang. All right. So listen, you guys, I'm checking my list here because, yeah, the memories, time travel stuff, we got that in. And if anybody else has any more info on that and more thoughts on that, get an email into us. I want to check that out. We also talked about this river, the atmospheric river over in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be making, I hope it, bring some news and a lot of people start seeing what's going on and start talking about it. I have I'm going to check this out because I have a Grub Terra for you guys. Oh, that's cool. I'm looking over some of my stuff. I'm probably not paying all the attention. Hold on one second. I'll get back to you guys. Right. Grub Terra. You know what I need to do, you guys? Hold on one second. If you have, what's this? Jim. Okay. Jim, you just sent me something really long here. Let's see. I have to go load up, love you all. May the very hand of God uplift those who are struggling with their situations. Isaiah 41 prayed openly. We expectantly reach out to God for help. We love wholeheartedly and seek your help. Isaiah 41:10 says, you lift us up with your righteous right hand. We ask for the powerful strength. Now, please direct your attention as we seek you. We know your words are offered protection. We seek you now. We ask the listeners of the show openly pray out loud for each other, Jesse Outcast and the listeners. We seek you desperately, Jesus, for an open intervention. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Thank you, Jim. Hey, be careful out there driving. All right. You're driving that truck. Probably a big tanker. I'm not sure what you're driving, but be safe out there, brother. And we'll be thinking about you and, hate these situations when they come along, but, stay strong in your faith. Hold on to that. That's going to get you through there. And, use your gut, trust your gut when you're out there driving them roads, man. Be careful out there, Jim. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, brother, for the update and all that stuff. So, wow, I'm going to, he says, I'm not an outcast level of prayer. Yeah, nobody is, right? None of us are right here. That's why we do what we can do when we can do it. And just, that's what he said. He's Hell Halls for Chevron. Yeah. Icy roads up there in Canada. For sure. Yep. All right, Jim, you have a good weekend too. Hopefully everything settles down and doesn't get too affected for you guys out there. So we'll be thinking about you, put you in the prayers over in Discord if you can do that. Maybe we can take care of that. But listen, you guys, this was another episode of Rise and Shine. I'm going to start winding this down because I've got stuff to take care of. Like I said, I got to run back to my plow jobs and just double check everything. Do our touch-ups if there are any touch-ups needed. I got to fuel up. Running 17 hours in a truck like that, I'm just above quarter tank left. So it's the diesel trucks are really great for all that stuff. How do you go to Discord? You have, thank you, Ms. Melody. Thank you. Music Lover, Discord. Do we have a link for him? I know it's in the description down below of every episode. There's a link down there, Jim. If you scroll just down in any one of our episodes, you'll see, what is it? Connect with us, something like that. And it says watch live, connect. Yeah, it's under the connect. Wait, support. Music Lover, where's that at? Oh, you'll see leave voicemail, website, Discord chat room. It's right there. Click on that link. Our email is there, email list. All that stuff is down below. So, yeah, there you go right there. Yeah, Jim, go ahead and click on that. I can see that you put I can't do anything with your email. So just go down there and click on the Discord chat room and you can be joined up with us right there. So next time, I think what I'm going to do is talk about, there's a few things that I have sitting right here that I want to talk to you guys about. And this is my portable solar generator right here. This is an EcoFlow. All right. I want to do a single show topic on this thing. We have no, affiliation with EcoFlow, none of that stuff, but I do like their products. They're really great. Now, as far as, something like this that you would need in an emergency situation, these things are great. These things are really awesome. There's so many different sizes of these EcoFlows, right? These, solar generators, the solar panel. These things are nice and handy. They're small. They fold out. I think this one's like a 45 watt. It came with that deal that I got on that. So I think in another episode, we will be able to do something like that and get into, alternative energy, for home emergency situation type of stuff. Hang on. I'm looking right here. We have also, so we'll save that. Like I said, we'll save this, the solar generator thing, topic for another one of these shows. Maybe next week. Maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe I can reach out to EcoFlow and see if they want to, I don't know, get something for you guys. Whatever. I'm not sure yet. Also, I want to talk about our chickens, in another episode too. Wintertime and chickens. I see a lot. I'm part of some of these Facebook groups about chickens and keeping poultry and all these things. There's a lot of newbies out there that think that they need to put lights in their coop, for heat. And just, I can see it. There's a lot of that talk out there, and a lot of people are concerned about keeping their chickens warm and all that stuff. Well, you don't need a light, you guys. Here, I'm a chicken wrangler of 30 years, right? Since the mid 90s, I've been, I've had chickens around here, all right, since the mid 90s. And I learned a long, long time ago from a lot of older chicken wranglers. You never put lights in there. I've never put lights in there for heat. On a fully feathered bird, adult birds, you don't need that. The biggest thing you need for animal protection, especially chickens, is keeping the wind off them. Okay, so as long as you have a coop that's not drafty, too drafty. We have some drafts in the coop because you need that, but open wind, that's what kills animals out there. So whenever you see deer and turkeys and all these things, they're never sleeping in direct wind. They're always behind a blockade, whether it's a wall or tree or building or fence, whatever it is. But that's what I'm saying. For chickens, I've never used a heat lamp or anything in our coop. They don't need it. They're already wearing feather jackets, down jackets, right? And when they're up on their roosts and all that stuff, they're sitting on their feet. They're just fine. I've never lost a bird to freezing to death. So when I first thought about that, I was like, man, that is crazy. I can't believe these things don't get cold, but they don't. That's it. As long as they have some protection, of a decent coop, they'll be fine. And that's something else we'll probably get into, but I have talking about chickens and coops, affiliation with Grub Terra, right? And Grub Terra right here is this. I have chicken coop refresher, and these little packs for these chickens, for the coop. Man, these things are awesome. This is, you guys, is rosemary and thyme. That's what these are. And these little packs, you just open them up and sprinkle them inside on the litter of the coop. And I use I use like the deep method. There it is right there. It's just ground up. It looks like tea almost, right? But it smells really good. And I put shavings, pine shavings, the big pine shavings, all in my coop, in the nesting boxes. And that's all the chickens need. And it's deep. I keep it deep, probably 6 inches deep. I know some people go a foot deep, but in the size of coop that I have, this one is good enough right here. So if you guys need anything for your chickens or your lizards or some certain pets that are inside, Grub Terra, go to Grub Terra. I have a link listed right there in the description of all these shows, and you can get our 20% discount. The links will take you there and should give you that discount. So this stuff right here, go to grubterra.com. Chicken coop refresher. This thing is awesome. I put one in like a month ago, something like that, and it's still holding up. And I've got 14 birds in this coop, and I'll probably put another one of these in here in January. So that's it. That's what I want to tell you about is our chickens. We can do more stuff. I know a lot of you guys out there have birds, And, you might want to, if you do have birds, let me know, because I can do so much more about chickens and all this stuff. I know K-Dub, he was out there, and he was talking about his birds. And let me see here. Oh, Ms. Melody, lights are a great way to set your coop on fire. Yes, exactly. Don't do that. Yep. Music lover, litter pack generates warmth too. Yeah, for sure. It's when I go in the coop, like, I got to go in there before I leave. I'm going to go in there and, Hicktown, birds are dinosaurs. You know, I'll say birds are dragons. Yeah. Birds are dragons, because dinosaurs are dragons. Right. So these little things, they're crazy is what I'm saying. So, and they eat anything. Anything eats chickens, and chickens eat anything. They don't care what it is. They eat meat, the carcasses from the deer and the carcasses from fish. I mean, they're meat eaters. They are everything. Like you said, Hicktown, birds are dinosaurs. I'll say dragons, but yes, they just don't breathe fire anymore. The heat inside, when I go inside there now, it's going to be, what is it? 10, 15. Last night, it must have been, I don't know, 17 degrees. I can't remember what it was. But it's going to be 7 degrees Saturday. And when you open the door to go in the coop, you can feel the difference in there, right? It's like stepping into a calm, it's not, I'm not saying you can be in there and hang out in there in your t-shirt all day, but it's not cold out there. I can put a cup of water out there and it'll probably stay unfrozen. It'll stay thawed, right? Because the wind is not hitting it. And they're all in there, and the litter's on the ground. So, and using these little packs of this Grub Terra stuff works great, man. It's awesome. It's rosemary and thyme. How can you go wrong with that? I might make some soup this weekend. Ms. Melody, some are dragons, some are fake. Yes, I know. Some of those bones do not belong to anything other than like chickens or something like that. And yes, I like that, Ms. Melody. But dragons, anyway, those are biblical. Dragons are real. They're out there. I'm just looking over the rest of the things here. I think that's it, you guys. I think that's it. Oh, I'm hungry. But today's another day I don't eat. So Tuesdays and Thursdays is my fast days. So if I'm not busy on these days, then the hunger will get at me. So that's why I got to get out there and get busy. Got to do my running around this morning, like I said. Get back out there, check all these jobs. But it was great hanging out with some of you guys, or with all you guys. And I'm sure more people are going to see this later. But check the links, you guys, if you're interested in any of the stuff that I was talking about. We have our links down below. Check all that stuff out. There's always the tip jar. Let me see. I can put that up right here. The buy me a coffee tip jar. I'll put that up there. If you guys want to do like one-time tips and stuff like that, that's fine. You can do that stuff. But if not, that's fine too. Just tell your friends that we are out here doing all this work and having a good time with you guys and trying to keep a live show going. A couple live shows a week. Monday we have, what do we have? Monday is Karen Wilkinson, right? Yes, Karen Wilkinson coming on Monday, and that's at 7. She's going to be here right at 7 o'clock. So I'll get some more information on that for you guys. See, we might start just a little before 7 because we like to get this thing fired up before our guests come on. But she's got a little bit of an earlier time, so that's okay. I'm also looking to see if I missed something else here right now. It is Thursday again, you guys, and just let me see. Yeah, if you like, I think that's it. I've got everything done. I got all my stuff done. So listen, I'm going to release the scratching. You know what? Hold on one second. I missed all this around pill.net. Mist in the mint. How do you say that again? Mist in the hemp. I'm sorry, you guys. Mist in the hemp says over on pill.net. Yeah, have a great day, Music Lover. Thank you guys for coming out. It used to flood up here all the time over on the coast. The Olympic Forest is a rainforest. We've been in drought for a few years compared to how it used to be. Yeah, we have high mountains here. Oh, they get a lot of snow up in the mountains. Yeah. In fact, right where I am in a low, and she's in a low mountain. So, good morning, mist in the mountain. Wait, mist in the mountain. That's it. Mist in the mountain, you guys. Awesome. Thanks for being here and hanging out tonight. I'm gonna release the scratching right now. There you go, right there. Have fun with that. Also, if there's any rumble rants or any of that stuff, nope, none of that. Yeah, Ms. Melody, thank you. Says, don't forget to hit the like on your way out, a thumbs up, whatever it is. And have a great day. The rest of the day for you guys. Get on out there and conquer whatever you're gonna do. Thank you, Misty in the mountain. Mist in the mountain. Awesome. Thank you for being out there. And I think we will see you guys. Check our social media. I got to get busy on there and do some more stuff on Instagram for you guys. So, thanks again for our monthly supporters being out there and supporting the show. And our, music lover and Ms. Melody, Hicktown, Misty in the Mountain. I'll get it one of these days. But yeah, don't forget to hit that like over in Rumble too, and YouTube and all these things, because that's where it's all at. So listen, join us here live, you guys. Monday night we'll be back with Karen Wilkinson, and probably line something up for another show for Thursday night. So all right, you guys, there's what I'm saying is we love you guys. God bless, and stay dangerous out there, you guys. We'll see you on Monday, and go check us out. Check us our page over on Instagram. We'll talk to you guys soon. God bless, and have a great day.